Hello, here is BB Walker. Welcome to my channel. Today a quick demonstration, a quick entering video about the Zoom G3Xn multi-FX processor. It's a quick unboxing and setup and first impressions for me. As you can see, it's a built-in 5 amp model. It's 150 patches, so the memory slots for saving this chains of FX. 77 built-in strumbox effect, rip patterns, looper, and so on and so on. So basically, what is this device and why I need it? As you know from my previous video, I have a Marshall code amplifier and I'm using this Yamaha. And why I decided to buy this one, I also considering both GT100, but I made some investigation, made some research and decided to buy this one. It's a smaller version of G5 Zoom, but what I actually needed in my work. So the thing first is the expression pedal to wah-wah and any other effects like resonance changing during the play on the guitar. The second thing that I needed was the looper to do some stuff. And of course, nice to have is a drum machine rhythm pattern, so I could practice without using this PSR S600 Yamaha, as you also know from my video when I'm using it with making some crazy compositions and so on. So let's take a look how this operates. And it's also like this code 25 from Marshall. This is a digital processing, it's a digital profiling, modeling of the sound instead of classic analog amplifiers. You have here a digital signal processor and some algorithms that simulates all those very known classic sounds. And basically, as you know, the guitarists have a lot of boxes trump. It's a distortion, for example, echo effect, some correction, equalizing, chorus, and so on and so on. It's a lot of physical boxes. Most of this old school effects is analog, but in the modern world, you could have this one device, which means it's a simple cable and you are plugging some features in the chain of effects. So basically your guitar goes here, makes some magic and goes out. Stereo output. This device is a stereo output. In my configuration I'm connecting it to Zoom H4 Pro and this rare microphone input. Going down with levels, and Zoom gives me Zoom H4 gives me the possibility to record the sound without microphone, without using a computer. So I'm not using the USB interface. It's analog output, but in the cables, so you don't have to use the mic. You have very good, great sound quality. On another video, I will give you samples. This one is recorded using my camera, so sorry for this, but I'm very busy with playing with this one, so I even don't know where are the cards, SD cards from the Zoom are. So let's go back to operating and how this thing flies. At the beginning you could be really confusing about this button here, expression pedals, 2 knobs here with pressing options. So basically, as I said, here you plug your guitar. I hope it's seen. Here is the output, the left and right, and one is mono, so you need the studio monitoring or any other amplifier, something which gives you the sound, because this is not a combo like Marshall code where you have all the things you need in one place. Here is only the processor, so you actually need something. Headphones, for example. It's the simplest way to practice as headphones. so you can connecting out somewhere. And when you start the device, you are in bank browse mode. With those two scroll left and right, you are changing banks. The actual selected banks is this when this red is blinking. So actually now I have this Elise, it's blinking, and this effect now is enabled. We won't be hearing it because the guitar is off, but don't worry. So basically, let's go forward. If you want to change the settings of this particular bank, you are pressing this stomp, pressing, and then you have these options for this particular patch. And if you want to see how this patch is built, you press scroll left right, because you can put 6 even to 7 effects on this chain. This is a cable, and this is some effect. That's ecstasy, a preamp, and some boxes, and the pedal volume, etc., etc. So basically, and to select, you are zooming this which one you want to see, and they are loaded. So this free, and you can change the effects on this right here. You have to be aware that this device by the default has the autosave option. So if you change something in the patches, it will be automatically saved into memory. And if you want to restore all the settings, you need to make a factory reset. Instead of switching, you need to press the knob here and here. I don't really remember. I put this in the description how to make the factory settings. But be aware that changing some effects here actually affects in the memory all the time. So to go back to bank memory mode, to browse the banks, you are pressing when you want to go. And if you go completely out of the 150 possible patches to save, but by the factory there is about 70 loaded, and here you get some place to experiment. So let's try to make something, some simple patch, how to start a looper, for example, or a rhythm. All right, so let's see. We select this 133 empty. This is now enabled, so we are pressing this memory stomp, and as you can see at the beginning, there's nothing in the chain. This line represents the cable, nothing in the chain. So we want to put something in the cable between our guitar and the output, the headphones, for example. So to add something, you actually have, at the one time you can see 3 effects because you have 3 separate sections. So to add something, you are pressing the type up and down and selecting a lot of possible options. Some of the effects are very complex for the computation of this algorithm, so they require 2 boxes. Some of them are smaller, like this looper. It have 2 options. It could be 1 unit or 2 unit wide. It gives you, in 2 unit mode, it gives you more operation control because you get 2 buttons to operate. But let's put the rhythm unit in the unit 1. It actually, if you press start, it gives you the rhythm. Of course, this is not a standard classic effects, because it actually did not affect the sound that comes from the guitar. This is actually the generator effect, because it actually adds some sound to the output. And to change the possible rhythms, you are using this first knob. There are a lot of rhythms in here. You can You can of course change the tempo, the volume, and so on and so on. But let's assume that I want to delete completely this unit from the processor chain. So you press menu, you go to delete, and this button on the left up here is a knob, and it also have a possibility to delete. So as you can see, this is our line, our 7 slots represented in this graphics. So you are selecting which one you want to delete. This rhythm, you are pressing, sure, again, press and delete. So it's deleted and we have nothing at this time. Again, we go back to completely empty patch. If you want to add something, you have the possibility to select the type. So you can add, I don't know, looper, whatever you want. You can delete whatever you want. As you can see, this looper gets 2 units. Sure, again, okay, delete. You can also add by pressing this menu, add, and it actually gives you the place where you want to add. Because as I said, there are 7 slots of possible effects, but we have only 3 represented physically. So actually this device is a lot larger. It means it's from here to here, but to see all those 7 effects, you are pressing the scroll. So you are moving up, you are moving left, right, and you are adding some effects. So if you have this free line, you are selecting type and select something. Some drive, for example. As you can see, there's a lot of effects, some delays, filters, but let's assume that I want to make something harder. So I'm looking for, those are columns. This is a simulation of the columns, different sizes and types, very known columns. There are also drives, and this is it's a pretty nice drive, and as you can see, it gets 2 windows, 2 units. So I could disable it in dispatch, enable, and add something other. So instead of drive, not instead, but in the chain, I could add some echo, soft echo. Of course, now the echo is only enabled. I need to enable drive and echo. So we have drive and echo in this mode. If you press the menu or scroll, you will see that our patch is from this drive and this echo. There are also places when you can add more and more and more. Okay, I think it's enough for one video because there's a lot of knowledge in here. So if you are interested in the Zoom H4, how to build some patches, how to add to the chain, how to delete, how to move, because you also could change by this hand tool. For example, take the echo before the drive, or you put the wah pedal, anything. That's a lot of possibilities in this device. So if you are interested how to use it in a particular way, how to connect all this stuff, just give me a comment and I will prepare another video. So it was quick demonstration how to use some tips and tricks. And very important thing, I probably didn't said it before, at the beginning you could experience, by playing those built-in patches, you could experience some very override sound, especially not in clean patches, but those override like sweet lead. Let's go back to modes, to banks, and let's go back to those built-in 70. As you can see, there's 75 patches, and let's go back to this one, for example. And the trick, the very important trick, is that this device by default has a master level set to 100. It's pretty too much for most of the headphones, for most of the line-in devices. So in my particular example, to set up this work perfectly with Zoom H4, with headphones for AKG, even the line-in, auxiliary in Marshall code, which I use as an amplifier now. I need to go down with the master level to 60 and even less. And this is very important because you will be very disappointed with the sound quality of this Zoom comparing, for example, to Marshall. And this is because of the too much gain on the output. So if you hear that this is hissing sound and doesn't sound nice and override sound because it's completely deformed, you need to play with the master volume. And so this is the first trick that I discovered playing this about 20 hours, maybe more. And I will give you an update, of course, with some my experience, my observations. So stay tuned. Thanks again. It was BB Walker presentation, first video, first of Zoom G3Xn. Thanks for watching.